Hello, my name is Elaine Wong Monroe. Before I start, let me explain about the variables. All the computers have to store the data in the variables, and the variables can store the input data, output data, and all the variables of the program. So, like if you want to then naming the variables, you can use the uppercase letter, lowercase letter, or an underscore, but it cannot use the numbers to naming it at the front, but you can name it in the center or wherever. Like this one, greeting is one of the variables, and this one is the data. Hello, this is a string. And then also the age, also a variables, and the 80 is the integers to store as the data stored in the age. Pi also a variables, and 3.142 is the real number to store in the pi. And this one puts is used to call the variables out, and then it will print on the screen. And this one main is called the function out. For the input of the program, this one gets is used to read the string from the terminal. This one puts enter the child's age is used to get the input from the user, and this one gets is to read the string from the terminal. And the chomp gets reads a string from the terminal, and then the chomp is remove the white space before, and this one to I is used to convert the value to an integer. So for this one is the calculation. H equal to h plus 2. This h is the inputs from the user, and then it will calculate plus 2 and then replace the variables, the age, and then this is used to call out to use as a output to call out the variables. There is many kinds of the programming structure. So one of the structure is the selection structure. For the selection structure, like this one, this is the condition d smaller equal to 30. If the condition is true, it will run this function, or else it will run the other function, which means that if the condition is false, if the d is smaller equal to 30, which means the condition is true, it will run this one. If the d is bigger than 30, it will run this one, which means the condition is the false. Loop is one of the repetition structure for the programming structure. For the loop has two basic types of the loops, pretest and the posttest. For this two is the pretest loop, and this is the while. While count smaller than 5, and then the count equal to count plus 1. So it will keep going to count to add on the count, and then it will keep to until and it will stop at 4, but it will not continue at 5 because this is smaller than 5. The For the next one is 4. The 4 also one of the pretest loop in for count is 0 until 4. This is 0 until 4, which means that it will stop at 4 and it will not continue by 5. Begin is the post-test loop. The post-test loop is used at this one, begin, and it will end until count equal to 2. Loop 2 also the post-test loop. It will break if count equal to 2. For this one also the post-test loop, but it's used the times 2. 5 times 2, which means that this function will keep repeat 5 times. And this one is used unless name equal to exit, or else it will keep going to this function. It will keep to redo and redo and redo. This is called the function. The function returns a value here, return 5, which means that when you call this function, it will automatically return to 5. And it can also take the arguments, but arguments is used to replace here, but it will not replace the return 5. If you call the function out, it will automatically return to 5 if unless you do not key the return 5 here, and it will call the arguments, it will just call the arguments only, like this one. First, the value returned is the function 7 to s. 7 is the argument, and it will replace the argument here. 7 will replace here, but it will not replace the return 5, which means that it will print out this is a function that receive argument 7, but the value returns is 5, because this is the function this equal out is returned to 5, but this one the argument will be replaced here.